I'm writing this because I don't know what else to do. I feel so exhausted. I can't think straight anymore. I'm an international student. I won't say my name or what country because I already feel unsafe. But my family is thousands of miles away, and I don't have any close friends, especially now. Most of my days are just classes, library, back to my room. And then back to my room. Back in March this year, I matched with a guy on a dating app. He seemed very nice at first, slightly pushy but funny. I was so lonely here. I just wanted to talk to someone so badly. After a week or so, I gave him my Instagram. That was my mistake. At the start, it was all casual. He was liking my photos, always telling me how smart I was and what a pretty girl I am. It flattered me a lot, especially because it's been so difficult to befriend anyone here. I've always had this alien feeling in this country. He was sending memes and random stuff, the kind of stuff normal people do, and he was sending memes and random stuff, and the kind of stuff normal people do when they're chatting, I think. Then he started asking to meet, and he was really pressing on it. But it was right when I was preparing for my midterms, so I told him I was busy and maybe we could plan a date later. But he kept pushing. He started calling me through Instagram, sending question mark when I didn't reply. And then he started sending me a bunch of nudes. Nudes. I told him to stop, that he was acting like a weirdo. And then he wrote back, "Don't piss me off." I blocked him immediately. The next day, I got messages from a new account. Same pictures, same tone. I blocked that one too. Then another popped up, and another. It was endless. I'd block one, and within minutes, another would text me. Then he started reposting my own photos on these accounts with captions like, "College who," and "an easy bit." Some of my classmates even saw it because he was tagging them all over. I was going crazy. And then was the moment when I truly panicked. I kept receiving photos of myself at the bus stop, literally that same day. And then another of me in the college library. I understood it wasn't just some game anymore. I was panicking so much, so I went straight to the police for the first time. The officer was patient about all of it, which honestly irritated me the most. He looked through my screenshots, the account usernames, the dating app chat. He explained that it was stalking and harassment and said he'd log it. He told me to keep documenting everything and even suggested applying for a protection order. The issue was they couldn't identify him. Throwaway accounts, app numbers, no name, no address. Even the photos from the dating app looked like they were just pulled from the internet. I felt so stupid in that moment, almost crying while he spoke. Without something concrete, there was nothing they could serve. He told me to call if I ever felt unsafe in the moment and they'd send someone. I left with a case number, and it felt like a piece of paper against a hurricane. For weeks, I kept saving everything. All the accounts, all the numbers, call logs, screenshots. But the messages kept coming. Somehow, he got my new number. Texts like, "cute jacket," right after I leave class. Calls at night from different numbers. If I answered, it was just breathing. Once, a whisper of my name. I went back to the police again. This time I was screaming and crying because for weeks I'd just been slipping further into madness. They updated the report, told me they'd escalate it to cybercrime or something, and they said they'd request patrols near my dorm. It didn't help me sleep. By May, I was failing classes. I couldn't focus. Every buzz on my phone made me nauseous. I stopped talking to people. I didn't want to tell my parents because I knew they'd tell me to come back home, and this was my dream school. I just couldn't mess it all up like this. I felt completely alone, but at the same time, so constantly watched. By June, I broke. I moved out of the dorm into a small, single flat further away. I told housing it was for safety reasons, and they expedited it. I trashed my phone and bought a second-hand one off some marketplace. New SIM, new number. I deleted every account. Stopped using social media whatsoever. Changed my routes to campus, wore different clothes, kept my head down under my hood. And for these months, it actually worked. There was silence. No calls, no texts, no new accounts. I thought maybe I'd finally gotten free. Two nights ago, that ended. I woke up to a buzzing around 1 a.m. My new phone was lying on the nightstand, screen lit, already open to the gallery. There were hundreds of photos. All of me. Not selfies, not screenshots. Real photos. Me at the bus stop with my headphones in. Me getting groceries. Me sitting in the laundromat reading. Different clothes, different days. Some from just a few weeks ago. Every single one of them from outside, from a corner, a doorway, or through a window. No selfies, no inside shots, just me going about my life as if someone had been following me every single day with a camera. With a camera. I stared until my eyes blurred with tears. My chest felt hollow. I don't remember deciding to move, but suddenly I was already on my feet, throwing the phone against the wall. The screen got all cracked. I shoved it into a trash bag and carried it all the way to a dumpster down the road. I was shaking so hard, I thought my knees would give out. The next morning, I went straight to the police again. I told the officer everything about the hidden folder, the photos, how I'd thrown the phone away. He asked for the device, and I told him I panicked and got rid of it. I thought he'd be angry, but he just sighed and said that made it harder to analyze. He still took the full report, wrote everything down, said he'd escalate it to the cyber unit and request additional CCTV checks. He asked about my new flat, wrote down the building name, my unit number, asked about my schedule, when I usually left for campus, when I came back, and so on, so the patrol could time their checks. He was so calm about all of it. Even told me not to feel bad about breaking the phone, that panic was normal. When I was leaving, he asked if housing had given me spare keys. I said yes, one set. He said if I wanted patrols to do checks while I was in classes, I could drop the spare off at the station, so I did. I walked out feeling slightly lighter. When I was leaving, he asked if housing had given me spare keys. I said yes, one set. He said if I wanted patrols to do checks while I was in classes, I could drop the spare off at the station. So I did. I walked out feeling slightly lighter. Like maybe I wasn't completely alone anymore. This night, I locked my door, checked the windows twice, and left the lights on. Just to feel safer, I dragged the chair and wedged it under the handle. I couldn't sleep. My body was humming with adrenaline. But sometime past midnight, exhaustion finally pulled me under. Then I woke to a sound. Buzzing. On my nightstand. The same phone. Cracked screen. open to the gallery, same folder. At the bottom, a new photo. Me, asleep. Taken from the corner of my bedroom. I dropped it. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. I checked the locks again. Perfect. Checked the windows. Latched. And then my stomach dropped. The chair wasn't at my door anymore. It was back by the table, exactly where it had been before I moved it. So, either I dreamed moving it, or someone put it back. I don't know what's happening. I don't know if I'm losing my mind. It was only outside photos before. Now it's inside my room. I called the police. I couldn't think of anything else. But as soon as I hung up, the thought hit me. The only people who know where I live are housing and the officer. And he has my spare keys. The phone buzzed again. I didn't want to look. I know what's there. And then the knocking started. Slow, heavy. A voice on the other side. It's just the police. Open up. I don't know if I should open the door. Thank you so much for listening to my narration of this wonderful story. Don't forget to support the author, which I have linked in the description, as well as the original story. And I just want to give a quick shout out to my patrons, Scott, Old Penguin, Ellie Hutmeyer, Mr. Sankofa, Austin My Love, Rinku Star, William Hartley, Cupcake Hips, Alonzo, Icy Narrates, Jesse Hartley, Eric Cifuentes, Lawrence Wallen, and Melissa Perez. I also try to link a different charity or a different cause every month and maybe a little more. So don't forget to check out the description to support the author of the story you just listened to and to maybe help somebody else out, even if it's just $1. As always, if you guys have a prayer request, please let me know in the comments. Shoot me a message on Discord. I would love to know how I can be praying for you. Thank you guys so much. God bless, and I'll see you in the next video.